It's been over 40 years since homes were more expensive than today when you factor in inflation, home prices, and mortgage interest rates. With many people speculating about a crash in home prices, it's important to consider if anyone has taken a look back at what occurred the last time we faced a comparable situation. Personally, I haven't observed anyone doing this. Everybody with an opinion on housing seems to want to compare now with 2008, as if we didn't have another 100 years of housing data to reflect upon. While it's true that home prices plummeted after a surge in the median home price 15 years ago, a surge in the median home prices was the only similarity between 2008 and the current situation. Why not learn from our past? We can identify a period in our history that's similar to today and evaluate the resulting market behavior to prepare for what's in store in the U.S. housing market. Join us as we explore the striking similarities between our current housing market and a pivotal period in history. Delve into the market behavior of that era to uncover valuable insights and gain a deeper understanding of what happened the last time homes were as unaffordable as they are today. It will guide us on what to expect today. To determine if today's home affordability is the worst it's been or not, I analyzed median U.S. home prices for over 60 years. I also factored in the inflation-adjusted monthly mortgage payment that the median homebuyer needs to make. When the adjustments were applied, I discovered that we must go back to 1981 to find a time when home affordability was worse than it is in today's housing market. This graph uses two lines to plot two different data sets over a 50-year period. The red line shows the monthly median home price in the U.S., while the blue line shows the inflation-adjusted monthly mortgage payment required to purchase a median-priced home with a 10% down payment. The blue line is particularly important as it reveals fluctuations in home affordability over time. Many people are currently concerned about these fluctuations, and for good reason. Home affordability has collapsed. It's important to note that all monthly payments, the blue line, are adjusted to $2015, meaning we're comparing all payments with dollar valuations from 2015. At the end of 1981, the inflation-adjusted monthly principal and interest mortgage payment of $2,410 was nearly 9% higher than today's adjusted payment of $2,200. So today's home affordability is horrible, but it's not the worst that we've measured. Instead of allowing recency bias to have us fixate on the housing crash of 2008, let's instead look back to a more similar scenario that occurred in 1981 and see what developed. If you're a longtime subscriber, then you know I often discuss inflation when evaluating home prices because the value of the US dollar changes over time and we need to adjust for these changes to have a clear understanding of home affordability. If you're not a subscriber, please click the thumbs up like button and subscribe now so that you get all my new content when it is fresh. If you really want to know what's going on in housing, to see and hear the data explained, to evaluate the facts and ignore the hype that is so prevalent online, then subscribe now and I'll keep you in the know. Our graph reveals that the last time home prices and mortgage interest rates conspired to destroy home affordability, home prices continued to rise. The dashed blue line in the graph identifies the worst affordability on record, the fourth quarter of 1981, but we can see a correction occurred immediately after it hit the peak. So what happened? Mortgage interest rates had soared and a recession began during the Carter administration. Interest rates finally started falling at the end of the first year of the Reagan administration, and the recession ended a year later. From 1982 to 1987, mortgage interest rates primarily fell and were a big factor in home affordability recovery. It's important to remember that the affordability primarily recovered due to higher wage inflation, meaning wages rose to offset the additional spend on housing, and a reduction in the cost of borrowed funds through lower mortgage interest rates. I believe the former may occur today, but the latter is not so likely. While today's rates are significantly higher than what we've enjoyed for the past few years, rates are still well below their 50-year average. Expecting a significant decline in mortgage interest rates is not a smart bet. Wage inflation is real and will soon gather steam in our home affordability studies, including wage inflation-adjusted mortgage payments. Anybody who publishes a "What's Next for Housing" must make some purely speculative assumptions. Ultimately, the federal government will decide on how healthy housing will be. Will they loosen up on home loan requirements? Do they lower mortgage interest rates? Time will tell. The ability to get a loan and the means to afford a loan will determine the future of home affordability. If the federal government works to make loans attainable and affordable, we could experience a long recovery in home affordability similar to what occurred in the 1980s and the 1990s. But if the opposite occurs, I have grave concerns about the future of the U.S. housing market. I've long warned that we're heading towards a future of haves and have-nots in housing, and home ownership will be a great challenge for all but the wealthiest among us. Beware the renter nation coming as large investment banks move in and take ownership of the housing market. Is your home on the market and getting very little attention from buyers? Or worse, did you list your home for sale and after a full term on the market, is it still unsold? If you are a frustrated home seller, I've got the perfect video for you to see. It's called Your Home Failed to Sell, Now What? And you can get the answers you need by clicking on the box in the top left corner of your screen.